unacceptable, no debate. But I can't get my head around what they were trying to achieve with a name change. Reaching out to new people is good, but RL can never resist a rebrand, as if these things were a silver bullet. It seems more likely to irritate fans you do have than to reel in newcomers. I can't believe people are surprised by the resistance.
I think people are surprised by the nature of the resistance that we've heard about, and also, the situation they're in. They've not been in Swinton for 27 years. The council have shown very, very little efforts to get them back into the area, which is something that Andy Maisie made very clear in his response to their statement, calling him out. It's just gone a bit all soap opera, hasn't it? I kind of think all they were doing was moving Swinton from the top of the badge to the bottom of the badge.
Yes.
I wouldn't take it that personally if I was a fan of a club and recognise that stood around me are only 200 or 300 other regulars, and most of them are in the last third of their life. I think I might have tried to have a bit more understanding, and rather than call out the club for not consulting us on something that we wouldn't have agreed with anyway in any circumstance, I probably would have wanted to talk to the club to make sure how they were going to still honour, make sure there was some written guarantees somewhere that the fans could take over ownership of the club if the club did ditch the Swinton and did ditch the colours from their crest, from their heritage, from that sort of stuff. I just think it was worth a try, and now it's all ended up very sour. And I can't understand how they think Andy Maisie was trying to get personal gain from this. I think he was just trying to reduce his own costs of running the club, and it sounds like the guy's going to pay for any contracts that have been given for players and staff for 2020 out of their own funds already, which is a big boost to the club because they're not going to get any other money coming in now.
Yeah, it's a big mess, isn't it? Let's be honest. Right. Yeah, fundamentally.
Do you look at it from real perspective in the Bradford sort of corner here? Do you look at it as another kind of situation where a club where everything at the club has fallen apart? There's nothing joined up at a club that actually. It's kind of like when Bradford last nearly made the playoffs the year before they got relegated, isn't it, for me? Like, this was a really good year on the pitch for Swinton Lions. They had some good things in place for the level that they were at, and then they couldn't get the shit together at the back end. Yeah,
and obviously you've got to separate the two ends of it, haven't you? The kind of if you think about it from the initial stages of the planning and the kind of the initial idea to change the name, the failure to engage people to a sufficient degree so that they're on board with the reasons behind it that's a stakeholder management failure, because your fans are your primary stakeholders. But then the actual the reactions to it don't seem appropriate and don't seem proportionate either. So
that seemed damaging more.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. I hope it isn't as final as the initial statements would suggest. I mean, we've got a good history with making multiple statements. So
I would love for there to be a way back for Maisie and the board at this club. Hopefully.
Yeah, hopefully with maybe a little bit of time, when a bit of water passes under the bridge, maybe when in the long off season we can come to some kind of level of agreement about it, because it's not a reason to to toss everything in the bin, is it?
No. Let's move on to Featherstone. Sarah.
Yes. Do you know that Featherstone have signed Italy international prop Alex Susino from Barrow? Susino, who's 24, has spent the past 2 seasons in Cumbria, making 51 appearances.
I didn't know that, but what I have learned since that happened, Sarah, is that Featherstone have also signed French halfback Louis Jouffre from Batley for the 2020 season, so they're looking all around European sides for their signings for next year. The 23-year-old has scored 14 tries in 27 appearances while at the Bulldogs. He had some time at Warrington as well when he was a kid, so talented player.
Yeah.
Hopefully Brexit doesn't cause problems.
That'd be fine. That's my answer to it now. It'll be fine.
Look, there's nothing we can do about it now, is there?
No, it's
The Millennium Bug never happened, so it's all right.
Yeah, it'll be fine.
Well, we'll live through the consequences, fine or otherwise.
Yeah, I'm
Louis Dufresne sliding from Batley to Featherstone. It's seismic. But what about other stuff from Batley?
What about Batley stuff? Yeah, so Batley have appointed Craig Lingard as the club's new head coach. Lingard will take over from Matt Diskin, who parted company with the Bulldogs after 3 seasons in charge earlier this week. A former assistant to John Keir at Batley, Lingard took his first head coaching role at Keighley in 2017 until he left them earlier this year. Lingard won 31 of 63 games in his 2 years at Keighley. He also played for Batley between 98 and 2008, scoring 142 tries in 206 appearances for Batley. And Carsten says, regarding Diskin, a sad day for Batley as he looked to get the most out of their players, most out of the players that they could afford. I have to say I was surprised I heard Diskin was leaving. But yeah, Lingard did a very good job at Keighley, unfairly removed from the scene, I would say. So I'm sure he'll do a good job back at Batley.
Yeah, bringing back club legends doesn't always work, but often it doesn't always not work either. So it seems like a good appointment to me, and maybe after 3 years, time to make a change. So
maybe.
Sarah.
Is it me again? Sorry.
We're going to be going round quick now because we're not going to have a lot to say about some of these ones.
I've disappeared. Which time Danny Craven has signed a new deal with the club until the end of 2021. He's 27. He's scored 46 tries in 129 appearances since making his debut for his hometown club in 2010. Craven is set to be granted a testimonial by the club in 2020, which obviously will have no impact on why he signed a new deal.
He's a popular guy there as well.
He is.
Barrow halfback Jamie Dallymore has signed a new 1-year deal with the club. The playmaker has been at the Raiders since 2016, scoring 26 tries and kicking 182 goals in 101 appearances for the club. So he's been up and down the divisions with the club. He ain't going nowhere. No one else would want him. No. That's a joke, but it made me laugh.
Sheffield playmaker Pat Patchwalker will hang up his boots at the end of the campaign. The 33-year-old has made 276 career appearances for Dewsbury, Batley and Sheffield, scoring 51 tries and kicking 708 goals. Walker helped the Eagles win the inaugural 1895 Cup final at Wembley last month.
Yep, Lee stalwart Mickey Heimers finally announced he'll retire at the end of the season.
Again.
The 38-year-old has made over 500 career appearances for Leeds, Saints, Wigan and Warrington during his 20-year playing career. A former Great Britain and England international, Hyam began his career and will finish his career with hometown Lee. Carsten says, and here I'm waiting for the announcement of his signing for Lee after 6 months into the new season. Tom Andrews says, copy and paste comment the last 4 times. See you next season, Mickey.
Honestly,
who was on the show last year when we talked about this? I'm sure me and Tom talked about it the year before that as well.
Probably. I can't believe you missed out his 20 minutes on the books at Bradford. I can't believe you missed that out.
I feel like this might actually be the last time with the interview he gave after the game at the weekend, although he cried a lot the last time he was going to do this and didn't do this. So, Sarah, do you think this is the last time?
Well, he's 38, isn't he? That's knocking on a bit.
Yeah. Fair enough. Right, let's move into League One, where Workington coach Chris Foreman has signed a new 3-year contract with the club.
Yep. Newcastle have promoted Academy stars Ollie Gowing and Sean Croston to the first team.
Workington have signed young duo Kane Barnes and Decker O'Donnell on permanent deals from 2020.
North Wales centre Earl Hurst has signed a new deal for the 2020 season. The 30-year-old has enjoyed 2 spells with the Crusaders since 2016, scoring 23 tries in 64 appearances.
I'm moving to the NRL. English forward pair Ryan Sutton and Elliot Whitehead have signed new contracts with the Canberra Raiders. That'll see them remain at the club until the end of 2022. Sutton and Whitehead have already signed until the end of next year, but the Raiders have extended their current deals for a further 2 seasons. And Carson says, well earned, especially for Sutton, who has had an outstanding rookie season.
Apparently, if they didn't renew now, clubs could start talking to them before the new season started, before their last year in the contract. So here it's halfway through that season.
Yeah.
In the NRL, I think it's obviously a lot earlier. So that's why.
Yeah, because they start announcing deals, don't they, mid-year? Yeah. Yes, they do. I mean, from what I've seen, obviously Whitehead's long-standing there, but Sutton's made a real impact. Probably less, kind of hasn't been attracting the same headlines as Bateman has, obviously, but, he's been doing a really good job.
Yeah.
Ex-Wigan and Widnes coach Frank Endicott will take charge of Tonga's end-of-season test matches against Great Britain and Australia. The former New Zealand boss has accepted an approach to replace Christian Wolff as part of the new coaching staff that will see Manu Vatuvai, Leslie Vinocola, Dwayne Mann become assistant coaches.
And if the players do boycott, like they were threatening to do, Frank Endicott knows a lot of players on his books as the as a player manager, player agent. So I'm sure he can fill up that side. If you're a winger, you'll want to get in that squad anyway with those coaches.
Yep.
Blimey, yeah. That's quite a coaching bench, isn't it? They'll be taking up some space.
Hull FC star Beretta Faremo has been included.
I'd call him a player rather than a star. Sorry.
Future Hull FC departee Beretta Faremo has been included in the USA squad to take part in the World Cup Nines this autumn. The Nines take place at Paramount's Bank West Stadium on the 18th and 19th of October. Actually, Wales have announced their squad as well, so go and look for that. We retweeted that earlier on Monday. But yeah, Beretta is joined by Cronulla Sharks player Ronaldo Mulitalo and Toulouse player Junior Vaivai, soon to be Villeneuve prop Eddie Pettybourne, Sheffield's 1895 Cup winner Corey Maitland, he'll be in there. So and interestingly, coach Sean Rutgerson has picked Jay Florimo, the son of North Sydney and Wigan star Greg. Jay's mother was born on a US Army base in Germany to an American father, so that's tenuous but works. The Nine squad in full is David Washington, Charlie Jones and Khalil Harris of Jacksonville Axemen. These names sound so familiar because you hear our friend Nate Gladden talking so enthusiastically about people like Khalil Harris and Jameel Robinson, who's to come next on the list. I feel like I know who these guys are already. Brandon Anderson, Jameel Robinson, Marcus Satavu, Connor Donahue and Brock Davies, all of the champion Brooklyn Kings. Ryan Burrows from Nova Eagles, Beretta Faremo, Corey Maitland, who we've already mentioned, Danny Howard from Wentworth Phil, Jerome Veve from South Logan, Christian Freed, who's at West's Mitchelton now, Jay Florimo, who plays for a team called The Entrance. That sounds more like a nickname for a wrestler than it does.
or a terrible kind of early 2000s band. Yeah.
Definitely. The Entrance from Oldham playing tired indie tunes. Eddie Pettibourne's at Central Queensland at the moment. Joe Eichner at Northern Pride. Mark Offendall, who is at the moment playing for a side called Goondiwindi, which is even nearly as funny as The Entrance. Junior Vaivai and Ronaldo Mulitalo. So quite an exciting side they've got together for the Nines, where they're going to get battered by everyone they play, but hopefully they can score some exciting tries.
Yeah, I'm sure. It'd be interesting to see that if we can. So 3 Women's Super League players have been shortlisted for the Telegraph Women's Steel Awards. A poll of all players from the 8 Women's Super League clubs was closed earlier this week, and the 3 contenders will be invited to the Betfred Super League Awards night at the Lowry Theatre. Unbeaten league leaders Castleford are represented by Kelsey Gentles, the 21-year-old centre, who will be looking to emulate the success of teammate Georgia Roach, who won last year's award. Also on the shortlist is Australian halfback Courtney Hill, who will help Leeds to Challenge Cup glory, and St Helens and England back rower Emily Rudge.
I'm going to say controversially, I don't think Emily Rudge has been the best back rower at St Helens this season from what I've seen of them. I think Chantel Crowell has been better. So the SLP Women's Player of the Year shortlist might be slightly different.
I just